So we'll start with Excel functions, which is three types called datetime functions, character functions, and the numeric functions. Coming back to the datetime function, there is a function called now. If you use now bracket start close, is going to give you current date as well as the time. If you say today, if you write today bracket start close, is going to give you current date or today's date. If you say month of functions of the value of today, what is going to bring here? It is going to bring month from today's date value. Are you getting this? If you say day function of this today is going to get you as what? 29. If you say year function of the date value is going to pull the year is 2023. There is a function called date which says that if you have given year, if you have given month, if you have given the day, you can easily convert that into a date format. Does it make sense to all of you? How to get year month? You will use the function called year to the date value multiplied with 100 plus month of the date value, which is going to give you the actual date year month value here. Does it make sense to all of you? If you say hour to retrieve the hour value from the date time, it is going to give you 16 is the hour. If you say minute from the date time value, it is going to retrieve the minutes value. If you say second, it will go for pulling the second value from the date value over here. Then if you say weekday, so there is something called weekday and week num. If it's a weekday of this, it's saying today is what? Sunday. Sunday is 1, Monday is 2, Tuesday is 3. If it's a week num, there's a function called week num. In a year, how many weeks are there? 52. Same way, if you say week num, which week number of current date is coming? It's saying 44. Another 8 weeks to over this year, we will be entering into 2024. Does it make sense, guys? How to go for using the now function, how to use the today function, how to use month, day, year, how to get the date value from month, day, year to convert date value. Year, month to hours, to minutes, to seconds, to weekdays, as well as week now. Clear to all? There is something called text format. What does it mean? If you say today, Saloni, don't sleep. Today. From this date value, if you're using text of today's date with the format is what? DD. Can you see this? Are you getting this? So what I did here, this function is going to fix. And this is where my column O is going to fix. Now, if I drag this based on this text function, it will change it to what? DDD is going to read this as sun, but DDD is going to read this as Sunday. 10 is going to be month. OCT is going to be MM is going to be October. MMM 4 times is going to read this as what? October. YY is going to read 23. This is 2023. This is 2023 October followed by October, and you can say hyphen or you can give this the date value here. Does it make sense to all? Okay. Now, how to go for reading a date format? As I said, if you have given the date format, there are different ways to read your date format. I'll show you here. You can read this date format as DD, YYY. You can also read this date format as which format? YYY, DD. You can also read this date format as word date format. You can also read this date format as what? Word month format. Does it make sense? Now, how to get the difference between two dates? For example, this is called October 15, 2010, when DV Analytics was started in Bangalore. And if you talk about today, what is this date is coming here, which is 29th October 2023. That means this is called uh, starting date, and this is called ending current date. Now, how to find out this years old? If you want to get the years old, there's a function called date diff. In date diff, you have to check the old date to the current date with the format style of what? Y. Same thing, if you say months old, how do you calculate the months here? You will say date diff along with what? Old date to the current date with M is a format. Does it make sense? If you say to see what are the days old, how do you get the days old? What will do now, guys, here? Date diff. Date diff with what? Start date to the end date with D. Understood now, guys? Clear? Everyone? right? We do not use days 360 now. Just ignore it. Nobody uses days 360. Everybody is using date diff. Now, how to add 5 days to your current date? You will say this date plus 5. Can you see this? You will say plus 5 days. Same thing, end of month also. This plus 5 days. It is going to give you as what? How many? What is the date after 5 days? Now, if you say 5 months, you will say E date. E date with the date with 5 months. If you do that, it's going to give the same date after 5 months added. What should be the date? If you say end of month, end of month with this date with 5 months, it is going to give you the values of what? 31st March 2024. Does it make sense to all? If you want to add 5 years, what will do here? E date with this value with 60 months. Does it make sense? Right? Now, if you say end of month, what will happen now? End of month will add 5 years, but give you the last day of that month. Never mind, I'll do these changes here. End of month with this date with 60, which is going to give me as what? The end of after 5 years, what is the end of that particular month? Clear now? Net working days, which is going to find out, excluding the Saturday, Sunday, and the holidays, how many working days between 1st January 2021 to 31st January 2021, which is coming 21 days. So net working days is always calculated based on your salary calculations. How many days, how many working hours you spend for the job, they use net working days. Is this clear to all of you guys? Saturday, Sunday, yes. Okay, guys, now this is given a date value. It is given the card registration date and the date of birth is given. Card registration date, we want to calculate something called the year, the month, the day, and the year month field. So I will say registration year you want to calculate, registration month you want to calculate, registration day you want to calculate, and registration year month you want to calculate. So how to do that? To get this year function of this date value. Yes or no? Right click, do a format cell, make it to number format. Done. How to get the month? You will say month function of what? This date value. So how it is coming? By date, you need to read this by what? Format cell to number. Does it make sense? How to get the day? You will say day function of this. Understood? So what you can do here, you can check this format and apply it here. How to go for year month? Year of this date value should be multiplied by 100 plus month of this day value. Does it make sense? How to calculate the age? Can you tell me, guys? How to calculate the age? You will say date diff with date to what? Along with what? Does it make sense to all? How important we have to use this kind of date function. Now we'll go for character functions. If you say opper, opper will keep the name value as what? All in capital. If you say lower, the lower will keep all the values in what? Lower order. If you say proper, so proper will keep the value as what? All in proper case. If you say the position of space, you will write what? Find. Find of what? A space within what? Sorry. You will say find. Find of what? A space within what? This text. It is given ninth position. Space is coming. Does it make sense to all? Now, how to get the value, mid value? For example, I want to read from BEN. I want to read. So that means I will use here the function called mid in this text, starting from 3 character to 3 character. From the third position of the character to 3 characters, I want to read, which is coming as BEN. Does it make sense to all of you? Are you getting this? Same way, if somebody says, hey, could you please get me the first 3 letters? I can use left of this value with 3 characters. Understood? To read the middle character, what will you use here? Mid of this with 2 to 3. Understood? To read the last, you will say right of this with 3 characters. Does it make sense to all? Are you getting this? Same way, guys, if you say concatenate, I will say dv should be concatenated with a space, again ampersand, called analytics. Does it make sense, guys? How to go for concatenation, right? So if you say length, how do you use the length? The length of ABCD. How many characters length? 5 characters. Yes or no? If you say there is a space before and after, if you want to go for removing the space, you can use stream of ABC. It's going to get you as what? Only ABCDE. There is no leading space. If you say substitute, for example, I have given a number called 123 hyphen 789 hyphen 90. I will say use of substitute, right? In this text, the old text is what? Hyphen, and I want to go by what? Nothing. So now all this hyphen has been removed. Can you see this? So you can say substitute what you want to find and how do you want to change it. Replace function. The same thing, it will say replace. So if you say replace, replace says that, so what is the old text, right? This. Now it's saying that find the position which you want to change. You will say find the position of what? Hyphen within this, right? Now it's saying that from there, how many characters you want to change? One character only I want to change it to blank. So you can see the first hyphen has gone. Can you see this? Are you getting it? No, I'll show it something like this. A, B, C, D, E, right? I will say replace, right? Old text is this. You need to find the position of what? C. Within what? This. Where you will find from there to 3 characters. You want to change it by CAT. So now what is the value is coming? Wherever C is there, from that, it is changing 3 characters what? Cat. So AB cat. Repeat. What is the use of repeat function here? It will repeat dv for 10 times. Can you see this? If you say exact, somebody's written here, dv analytics. One is in capital, one is in small letter. But if you are using exact function of this to this, it will say false. Had it been given all capital, it will say as what? True. Understood? Now, is text. If you're writing is text to search a number value to a character value or not, it will say false. Had it been given ABC, it will give you as what? True. So is text is going to find out whether it's a numeric or it is a character value. Okay. What is the length function is doing here, guys? Is finding out in this text what is the number of characters. Clear? Okay. Now, okay, we'll do something here. In this name, how to get the first name? I will use mid function of this text. Starting from 1 to find the position of what? Space within this -1. These many characters you want to read? Yes or no? If you want the last name, what will do here? Mid of this value. You will say find of what? Space. Wherever the space is coming from there, you want to read what? Let's say 20 characters. You can read this. How to find the position of space? You like what? Find space within what? This text. Does it make sense to all of you? Find space using not mid function. Find space, just I'm finding this using the find function. Now, how to go for concatenating this name, last name, first name? You will say ampersand, space, ampersand, this value. Yes or no? Or you can use a function called concatenate with what? This space, ampersand to. Understood now, guys? Clear? Got it? Now, character function test. Given the full name, you need to get this in customer first name. What to do here?
बूढ़ी बोले हम पार्लर में
Guys, are you getting this? How to go for this? Mid of this. With
Yes.
what?
space
Find of space. Within what? +1 with 20 characters. Mm. Okay, do it. Mid of this with find with space within this. Then from there plus
20.
no from there to 20 character. Understood now? But there is a space is coming before that. Can you see this? So we have to use what to avoid this one. Okay, now how to get the full address? What we'll do here? This ampersand again ampersand this ampersand. Does it make sense? Clear? Now how to go for the phone number? Substitute this with what? Understood now, guys? Right. How to get the customer first name and last name from this?
Let.
So you have to read everything from. So this is the customer name and the domain name. How to get the domain name?
We
What will
have
do
to
here?
split, sir.
Mid, right? From 1 to find as what? Within minus. How to get the domain name then? Mid of find of what? Within, right? Plus 1 to 30 character long. Yes or no? How to get the company name?
Same
Can
main
you get
function.
this?
Yes.
Okay. To get this company name, you will say, or let's say, write up this. No, this is also not the right way. Okay. How to read this company name? Company name will come after what? www dot before what? Dot com. Yes or no? That is what the company name will come.
Mm.
Hmm? How
Yes,
to
sir.
get this? Right. Starting from which position will go for reading this company name?
Sir, from the dot, can we start?
Find the position of dot, right? Within this, right?
Another dot.
Plus 1 to how many characters you want to read?
50.
Mhm. You have to say find of the second dot
Okay.
over what?
This.
Over this with this dot position will be coming after what? Anything you can give. So the position would be what? Uh, see, ultimately what we have to do. This is the first position is what? 4, 5,
Is the
6,
dot.
7, 10, 11. After 11, you read up to this. So you have to first find out the position of what? First dot. Then you have to find out the position of what? Second dot. So
Second dot.
put the first find out the position of first dot. What will do here? Dot within this. You got this 11, right? What is the second dot position? You'll find it here. If you do this is the first dot position which is given. Can you see this? At 11. Second dot position is what? Find what? Dot, right? Within what? This text only. But that should be after this position. Understood now? Which is coming on what? 30th position, right? Right. So you have to read the data from where? This. So you should be reading this, reading the data from this minus this plus 1. So you have to read up to 20 character, right? So if you say mid of this starting from this plus 1 to this, it is going to give you the company domain name minus 1, minus 2. It is going to give me the domain name. Yes or no, guys? Understood? So now how to find the company domain name will come through what? It is after your this position.
11th position.
You will say mid of this starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 100 position. I'll say like this. Mid of this 8 to 100 position. I want to read. That means I got my company domain. From this to read my company name, I will use mid of this starting from find the position of what?
11th position, sir.
Dot.
Okay.
In this. From this dot plus 1. From this to how many characters I want to read now? I want to read this. I should minus this to get this value, yes or no? I'll go for again giving this. Find the dot position from this, which is this position plus 1. Right? This is the first find position find. Then minus this. Yes. Something is going wrong. Logically, it should be coming as what? I want to find this 30th position minus this 11th position. These many characters I want to read. So to get this 30th position, what should I do now? Bracket start. Mid of dot within this. Sorry, within this. Then this should be from find the dot position within this should be plus 1, right? And then this should be bracket close and minus find the dot position within this.
Sir, will indexing not work here if we provide two index number to print?
1 minute. So indexing will be working. I'm doing something wrong, might be. But this is the right way. If you can get the first position, the second position, the difference number of characters that you want to read from this position, that is what you need to give. We can do that, but it's taking time. I'll do it last time. Find mid of this value. Find the dot position in this plus 1. From there, how many characters I want to read? I want to read the character that should be coming the difference. Difference of what? Find the position of dot within this, right? Then this should be going with find the position of dot within this plus 1. Right? This you got the 30th position. From there, you have to minus find the position of dot within this.
So you have to close the bracket after +1.
Yeah. Yes, it is coming now. So
Sir, last one is -1.
right. Now we got it here. Oh, you will take it. You will take it later. Okay. So this is how we done. Now we'll go for the numeric function. We'll finish this quickly here. So
Sir,
for the
could you please
numeric,
explain that one more time?
so what I did first, I first find the position of what? The first dot. Then from that dot, how many characters I want to read? I have to find out the second dot position minus first dot position. That means second dot position is in 30th. First dot position is 11. So how many characters I want to read? 30th minus 11, which is going to be this minus this. Yes or no? The 19th position I want to read. Understood now, guys? So this 19 character I'm reading here, which for that I'm giving this position. This is going to give me as 19. So how many of you are not able to understand this? Understood? Rajasri.
We understood the logic, but we will know when we write whether we are writing it correct
Okay.
or
Okay, I tell you. Devendra dot Devadatta dot Das. Is that clear? In this, what is the first dot position? Can anyone tell me? Find dot within what? What is the position is coming?
9th.
What is the second dot position? How will you find that? Find dot position in this text. But that position should be greater than this position. Understood now? After 9th position, what is the next position is coming, which is 19. So I'm trying to find out here after 11, what is the next position is coming? 30th. So if I really want to read the middle name, I'll read from what? 11 to or 9 to how many characters? I will read 19 minus 9. How many characters I'll read now? That is what I applied here. Okay, clear now? Okay, I'll go for the numeric function to finish the class. Okay, so if you say addition, what do you do here? This plus this is the addition. If you say multiplication, equal sign, this star this. If you say division, what do you do here? This divided by this to get the division. If it's a subtraction, you say this minus this is a subtraction. Yes or no? Now, if you want to go for aggregate functions, for example, you would get the total sum of all the series values. Select this. This is called sum. If you say average, you can say average of all the series values, that is from Bangalore to Kolkata. It is going to say, give you the sales average. If you say minimum sales, you will write what? Mean of this series values Bangalore to Kolkata is going to give you as minimum sales. If you say max of sales, what write here? Max of this. Does it make sense, guys? Everyone? Understood? Right. Now, if you say count function, count and count blank, what happens? If you say count of all these values, excluding the character values, it is going to give you the count of what? 14. That means it is excluded the count of character positions. But if you're using count A, it will count of both what? Characters and numerics together. Understood now? The difference between count takes only numeric values, count A takes both numeric and the character value. How to get the count of all these? How to get the count of what? All these blanks. So we will say count blank. So if you say count blank, is going to give you in this series values how many blank records are there. How many blank records? 5. Now there is something called in Excel called count if and count ifs. What is count if and count ifs? If you say how many times apple is repeated here, you will say count if. You say count if within this range the criteria name is what? Apple. If you drag this, it says apple is 21 times, Dell is 28 times, and HP is 14 times. You can also make a pivot table to see the same result out here. Understood? Where you can see the result as what? Product and product wise count. Understood now, guys? If you want to see the product city wise count, so how will you go for doing this? Count ifs. Now in the count ifs, what's the criteria range? You want to go for criteria range is what? This. Okay. Now, what is the first criteria? Value, which is apple. What is the second criteria range? Second criteria range is what? City. What is the second criteria value is here? This. Now close the bracket. If you do that, it is going to give you the actual value of what? Within the range, Apple and Bangalore, how many times coming? If you select this, if you go for inserting a pivot table here, where you take product and city and take the count here, if you go for presenting this value through a pivot table, it is also giving the same result. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys? So whatever we can get in pivot table, we can also retrieve the same thing using count ifs as a function. What is count ifs? If you go for multiple column as a criteria. Now, what is sum if and sum ifs? For example, if you do a pivot table from this data, where you can create a pivot table here. In this pivot table, you call product and product with what? Sum of sales. Can you see this? So how to get this here? You will say sum if. What is the range? This is the range. Now, what is the criteria range? Apple. What is the sum range? Sales. That's it. What is going to fix here? This range is fixed. If you drag this, it is going to give the same result as what? HP and Dell. Understood now? Clear? Right. How to go for getting the range sum ifs? Sum ifs, you will say sum if. Sum if says that sum range. This is my sum range. What is the criteria range? This is my criteria range. Sorry. What is the criteria range? The criteria range is this. What is the criteria value? This. What is the second criteria range? City. What is the second criteria value? This. And bracket close. If you drag this, you get the same result as what you can get it here using what? Product and city. Can you see this, guys? Whatever you can achieve using sum ifs, you can also get the same thing using pivot table. Clear? Now, moving on to the next. What is the difference between sum product and product? If you say product of these series values, product of these series values, it is coming as this value. But if you say sum product of array 1 and sum product of array 2, what is the value is going to come in here? 4400. That means it is multiplying each row, then it is adding here. But in product, it is multiplying each row value to each other. Are you getting it? So what is happening? You are multiplying 10 multiplied by 20 multiplied by 30 multiplied by 40 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 60. You get the value of what? This, which is called product. Yes or no? Right? Now, what is sum product is doing here? Sum product is giving the value like this. What is the value? This multiplied by this plus this multiplied by this plus this multiplied by this. So this is what the difference between product and sum. Product is going to multiply everything. Sum product is multiply each row, then adding by each row. Now, how to see the difference? 2019 minus 2020 minus 2019. This is the difference. How to show the difference in delta? If you say delta, right, over 2020 to 2019. If it says 0, that means there is a delta. If it is 1, means there is no delta. There is no difference. Understood now? How to calculate the delta percentage? You will say 2020 sales over 2019 minus 1. If you do that, it comes in decimal fractions, which you can convert to percent. That means you are saying 2020 sales, which is 68% less as compared to 2019. Understood? Are you getting this, guys? Now, what is called power function? It is going to give you power of 5 to the power 3. What value is going to come in? 125. If it's a square root of 25, what value is going to come in? 5. If you say mode means remainder, right? Mode of 23 by 11. What is the remainder is going to come in? 1. If you are using the function called integer to get these values, what will come here? 123. If you say round this value, which is in fractions, to 0, is going to give you as what? 124. If you say round up, guys, these functions are very important when you're working in bank, because in bank every transaction with decimal also matters a lot, which comes in millions. So we cannot ignore those values without giving a significance of round up and round down. Right? You might be thinking, who is using that? You will only use this. Right? Sealing function, you want to seal this function with 1, which is going to get you the next value, which is divisible by 1 and greater than 123 point this. If it's a floor, what will happen in floor? The lower value will come. Yes or no? Understood, guys? Now we have completed the numeric functions. Now there is a test is given to you. From this data, it is given customer name, visit date is given, visit year is given, visit month is given, number of members are given, as well as the spend amount is given. Now, what you want to do here is that okay. So first of all, you can go for creating a pivot table from this data. Now this pivot will go by what? Restaurant name, customer name, visit month, number of visitors visited, total spent which they made, and after this you can bring this summation to this level to present here. Understood? Now soon after you present this here, you need to go for making this as repeat all item labels. So in a tabular form, this is called total members. This is called total spent. Understood now, guys? So this is how you get the data. Now soon after you get this data, you can copy to create a report for the business. So how would you go for creating the report for the business? You'll be keeping this here. Now soon after you get these values, you need to summarize the value properly. How do you summarize? First column is Jan. Second column is Feb and second column is Feb. Third column is right. You need to arrange this. Control. Then okay. So this is how we arrange the data. Then we go for calculating the Q1 sales. So how do you calculate the Q1 sales? Sum of this all. Something like this, you have to go for calculating this. Functions by examples. It is saying to retrieve the country code. How do you do this? Made of 1 to 2 characters. Yes or no? How to calculate the order number? Made of what will do here? From this 9th position to 20 character. I got the order number. How to get the order year? Year function of order date. I'll get the order year. How to get the month? I'll say text of this date with MMM. Right? How to go for order year month? I will say text of this with YYY and MMM. I got it here. How to get the days gap? Date diff with what? Order date to the with what? D. I got the number of days gap. How to get the customer first name? Made of right, starting from one position to find a space position within this minus 1. Where I got the error?
So there's a C. It
Oh.
was not a space.
Okay, I got this first name. How to get the last name? Made of this. You'll find the position of space. From there, plus 1 to 20 character. Did I get this? Now moving to the next. I can see there are some blanks. Control F. Wherever the blanks are there, replaced by 9994 5 times. Replace all. It will take little time, but that is okay. We'll wait for. Okay, so what is next is coming now. Okay, moving on to the next, you will calculate discounted amount. How to do that? This should be multiplied by discount percentage. How to calculate sales after discount? Sales minus discounted amount. That's it. So guys, when we use functions used for manipulative field, derived field and calculative field. For example, if you look at this country code which came through, this is called insert a comment called this is manipulative field. It's a manipulation happen using a function. Yes or no? Right? But if you look at the year, this is called comment as what? Derived field. Are you getting it, guys? Understood? So this is a derived field. Date diff is what? It's a derived field. Now tell me, get the customer first name, last name. This is called manipulative field. This is called manipulative field. Now, what you see here, discounted amount. This is called. Now, did you understand what is called calculative field, what is called derived field, and what is called manipulative field? Is this clear? This is how, guys, we have completed your session 4 today.